Whew, what a night. What a night. The Indiana Pacers are 6-29, which kind of breaks my brain. Welcome to eviL Pacers Recap Live, where we're still mired in basketball hell. I think we certainly have descended farther since our last episode because the Pacers have not won in 11 games now. I don't remember what the date was. It's been a long time, far too long. Kyle, how are you holding up right now?
The Washington Wizards have won 4 of 5, Derek. Did you know that? 4 of 5 games.
I knew that the Bucks have lost to them twice now, and the last I checked, they were losing to the Hornets. And Giannis is playing for them, so there are some darker times elsewhere in the NBA. But yeah, the Pacers have like a multiple game lead in the tank standings, and it's very bad. It's very bad.
The Pacers could win 3 games straight, and their lottery odds would be unaffected. I think they could win 5 games straight, and their lottery odds would be unaffected. We've taken a bit of a break around the holidays for, I think what I hope are obvious reasons. We hope everyone had a good Christmas, a happy New Year. Unfortunately, they came with no gifts for the Pacers, who must have been on the naughty list, and a new year that brought the same The same old, kind of different, I guess, because with this Pacers team, the offense has always been bad, and then it's just some other new form of hell inflicted upon them. Rebounding in Houston, turnovers in Miami, a couple now dreadful fourth quarter shot making games against Orlando and tonight against San Antonio, and just getting smoked on the glass by Kelly Olynyk. And I think almost halfway there. We've done this show 10 times now, and when I update the scroll at the bottom of the screen and it just keeps ticking up, 35 feels a lot better than when it was 1 and 13.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
it feels like a long way to go.
Yeah, that's kind of the losses, especially right now, are just compiling. Um, yeah, I mean, I said it recently on Locked On. Like, just there's still just a long way to go. Like, thank goodness we do get to see Tyrese Halliburton play in this calendar year, but that's still so far away. Um, it's really dark right now. Like the Pacers actually made shots tonight, which is something that we just haven't seen them do. Like they got 50, 40, 90 tonight. It was like 51, 40, and then like 87 from the line. It didn't matter because they couldn't get enough rebounds because the Spurs had 11 more offensive rebounds and they had a whole bunch more free throws. And the Pacers just lost the possession battle terribly. So despite them finally making shots as the team that is the worst shooting team in the league from everywhere on the floor, it just didn't matter. They made shots. Micah Potter started a game, which is insane to say by itself that that's where we're at in the season, but he played well. He made some shots, hit some threes. But even
I
they
might
get
quibble
something
with
like
played
that.
well. I think at times his pick and roll defense left a bit to be desired, but I wanna like hammer home your point. In the first half, Derek, the Pacers shot 5 percentage points better from two, 6 percentage points or about 5 percentage points better from three. They made 100% of their free throws. Overall, that adds up to 66% effective field goal percentage, 68% true shooting, and they trailed by 13.
And they gave up 41 points in the second quarter.
It's incredible. I might before we wallow in this kind of defeat, can we wallow in a different kind of one and take a spin?
Yeah, I think it's time for the tankathon spin. And you can see where the standings are currently. Like the Pacers have a sizable lead in the race for the bottom. And they'll have a right now they currently have a top four chance at 52%. So a coin flip that they'll be in the top four. Kyle, take that coin flip. Let's see what our spin leaves us today.
Okay.
All right. And
Okay.
top four, I think is great. That's a great top
I
four.
mean, the bottom teams only have a 40% chance to be top 3 basically. So if you get top 3, you're really beating the odds. I mean, this is an outcome I would take. Oklahoma City doesn't jump. I mean, Brooklyn, I can't be mad at them. Utah, I can't be mad. Charlotte, I mean, I have no.
Yeah,
This is
of all of the
justice in the
options,
basketball
this
world.
is this is one of the like perfect options. Like we don't see any of the OKC jump in there. We don't see somebody like Dallas jump in there again after they just won the lottery last year. We don't see the Bucks jump up there. So like this kind of result is like ideal. The Pacers get in the top three and like nobody else jumps ahead of them. That's ridiculous like OKC.
Oh boy. Well,
We got a long way to
back to the
wait
game.
until we just got so long to wait until that actually matters. And so much pain and suffering may come our way until then. Oh my gosh, I miss Obi Toppin so much. Like seeing him like do some warm ups and like I think the original date that like maybe he could come back is February 1st was like the first day possible. Probably be a little later than that. But yes, I miss Obi Toppin greatly. Uh, seeing like highlight videos even of just like every time the ball gets stuck on the top of a backboard, I really miss Obi just because of those little fun things. And that's happened like 3 times this year. And it's just like Obi's not there to go make a ridiculously athletic play and jump up from the bench and knock it down. Seeing like highlights of Tyrese recently with the end of the year, people like putting together all the clips of his best assists and his deepest threes in the playoffs. And it's just like, man, I miss watching that guy play basketball. Man, I miss watching him play basketball.
I finally found it in myself to watch some of the highlights from the playoff run again. AK Riley, if you don't follow him on Twitter, he's a must follow. He's posting some great videos. Obviously, there are abundant videos on YouTube and everywhere else of everything the Pacers did. And I finally went back on the 31st and the 1st and sort of let myself sit in the good times again, because the truth is that even though we're in an 11-game losing streak and it's, as bad as it's ever been, frankly, in franchise history, the Pacers also had a 6 months of, whatever is beyond nirvana, something so good that it you have to sort of hold in your mind that that's out there again somewhere and sometime and someday, and we don't know when and we don't know what it will look like, but you just have to hold on to that belief sometime. And unfortunately, comments by Pascal in the last 2 weeks about the team losing its fight, comments by Rick after the Orlando game about petty nonsense, have really made me start to worry. Frankly, these are things that they're talking about. You can't see them on the basketball court. You can rewatch the games, you can look at the minutes played, you can look at blown assignments, and you can sort of see hints where some of the fractures might be showing. But the truth is that those good memories feel far away for us and they feel far away for the team. And there's something going on in that locker room that we're not seeing that's not quite right. At least that's what I take from those comments. And I hope that they are able, players rewatch their own highlights. I hope that Aaron is coming back from this injury and watches himself against the Knicks. I hope Ben Shepherd watches himself hit the three at the end of the third quarter in game 6. I hope that Ben Mathurin watches himself in game 3 of the finals. I hope that they can remember that they are those people, even when it doesn't seem like they're those people and those players, because they are. Maybe in different contexts and, with different strengths and weaknesses. But, if Indiana sports is teaching us anything right now, I would hope that what we are learning is that truly anything is possible. And sometimes that means bad times are coming when you don't see them coming. And sometimes it means that decades or even a century of futility can be ended in the blink of an eye. Sports are incredible. And right now we're living in a down period, and a down period that may last a long time, a very long time, and hopefully not much more than 4.5 more months. But those good days are out there somewhere.
They're out there somewhere. And like the crazy thing, like I talked about this with Tony East on Locked On Pacers, with that he asked me to do the end of the year and go over the best moments of 2025, the calendar year. And this was like the greatest year in Pacers basketball history, even despite the just sadness and just really rough basketball that's been the case since the injury in game 7. Like, I've never had a greater time covering a team for sure, but just being a sports fan in general than like starting in March of the regular season and then getting all the way to the NBA finals with the way that they did it. It's insane that they were able to get 2 of those crazy comebacks and moments, but they got 4. And then they almost won the whole thing. Like, it'll forever.
An NBA season of basketball happened where the NBA came out with its top 10 plays of the season, and our guy was 4 of the top 10 and could have been 5.
Yeah. Yeah. And you could argue that he got robbed on a few of those spots.
I think he got robbed.
That's
I think
how,
he should have had 5.
Yeah. And they could have been higher. Like some of those shots should have been ranked higher. Like it could have just been, here's the top 5 moments of the season, and 4 of them are Tyrese Halliburton.
The only thing that was definitively as cool or cooler than his moments is the Chicago comeback against the Lakers. That is the only thing from the 2024-25 season that rivaled what he did. A half-court game winner against the Lakers, 9 points in 10 seconds. You know what? Fine. The Pacers didn't quite get 9 points in 10 seconds. They could do, 13 points in 45 seconds, but
Yeah. They
they
could have
really
one
could have. He could
guy
have by
score.
himself had 5 of the top 6.
Yeah. They could have one guy score 20 points in 5 minutes of an Eastern Conference Finals game one, and then have a game tying shot that went off the screen and then dropped in. But yes, I agree. That Giddy shot, that Bulls comeback was amazing. I would have to say that, like, that regular season game, impressive and awesome, but I wouldn't rank. Obviously, I'm biased, but I wouldn't put that above any of those Pacers playoff moments. Maybe the Bucks one, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's probably enough reminiscing, Derek. It's time to return to
Fine,
hell. It's time to
fine.
return to hell.
We got new additions here in hell. You can't see them because they're burning, but we got Sad Roy Hibbert and Sad Jeff Teague are both down here. I feel like we need to. Do we just go to the awards before we start talking about specific people?
Yeah, because I
Do
think the,
that.
the people are going to come up in the awards. I
I
think
think
I
they're
think
going
we
to
should
come
just
up.
go there.
Uh, all right, here we go. All right, this is the TJs, where we have 3 awards for the night. First, we have to choose a Mr. Pacer. The nominees for the Tyrese John Halliburton Award, the MVP, the Pacer of the night, however you want to look at it. Kyle, I'll let you nominate our first player for player of the game here.
Well, it was looking like Andrew Nemhard to start the game, but I think I'm going to go with the guy who closed better, which was Pascal Siakam. And the respect that he is getting shown on the court is part of the reason why I think he has a season deserving of an all-star appearance. Unfortunately, I think the Pacers record might keep him from it. The Spurs don't respect a single other player on the floor when Pascal Siakam has the ball. He's getting double teamed at every touch, and for so much of the game, I have to say, he's getting double teamed on every touch and he's getting no help. There is a horrible spacing around him, and when he gets rid of the ball sticks. It sticks with everybody. There are some players I know that people think of the ball sticking. Tonight, when he was passing out of double teams, the ball stuck wherever it went. And the Spurs recovered, and the Pacers never punished the double teams effectively, really for the entire game. And at a certain point in the game, he just said, screw it. I'm getting all the way to the basket and you can't stop me. And it was just a relentless attack that wound up with him on the floor over and over again as he just pirouetted and spun and danced and fell his way to the rim. 7 of 10 in the second half. I haven't pulled up his shot chart, but I have to imagine that it is just a peppering of shots absolutely right at the rim. And you know what? He couldn't really get much going from anywhere else, but I was really impressed with how he responded to the attention he faced all game.
Yeah, Pascal Siakam continued his superb play. Um, I thought it was interesting. We talked a lot about, like, you can see Pascal's frustration a lot, especially during this losing streak. Micah Potter was on the podium today, and somebody asked, like, what's Pascal been like as a leader? Seth Johnson was the person who asked this question from Nuvo, and, like, it was kind of revealing. Like, it doesn't feel like the new guys are feeling that frustration, at least on the court, because, like, Michael Potter was like, he's, like, been really helpful. Like, the communication's been great. So, like, even, like, knowing that, like, things are going to go wrong with a guy who's only been here for less than a week, but, like, when something does happen, they're quickly talking to each other, figuring things out. so that they know what to do the next time. But like that's been a thing. Like you can tell that Pascal like just doesn't have the trust in the teammates that are surrounding him on the floor. And like you're talking about, like when he's getting doubled, like we saw for a while, like Ben Mathurin was making like really strong cuts to the rim, like when the team needed it, and we just didn't see any of that kind of thing tonight. I'm sure he might come up in some other awards, so I don't want to dive into Ben too much, but yeah, like he's kind of getting left on an island too often, and guys aren't doing enough to help him out. But I did like if you have a chance, watch those Micah Potter comments. It was a good interview. Um, to watch that. My nominee, I'll go with Andrew Nimhard. Most of his first quarter, like just the way he started out the game, I joked and turned to Alex Golden, who sat next to me on press row, and he had like 2 points and 1 rebound at this time, and I was like, I'm calling an Andrew Nimhard triple double just because of the way he was like after rebounds, like he was just really aggressive at going for any loose ball. Didn't quite get there. He had like 12 points and 4 rebounds in the first quarter, but no assists. Finished with 19, 6, and 6. Had a really good game. It was really good to see efficiency from Nimhart tonight. 7 for 10 from the floor. It didn't feel like he was forcing any of his shots. It wasn't like he was trying to do too much. I didn't think. I really liked how he played tonight. It was just like the offense at times, like we just didn't see it for stretches. And I wonder if part of that is we did get more TJ and Drew minutes than we normally do, which I was glad to see. Like we haven't seen very much of those this year. And maybe a lot of those were in the second quarter and they gave up a bunch of points. Maybe that's why. But they've only played together like 80 minutes. Like I looked that up earlier today. So before today, they'd only played 80 minutes together, and it was like in 17 games. So it was like barely, not even 5 minutes a game that they play together. So I like seeing those like kind of 2 point guard look. I thought it was good to see. Um, but yeah, I thought Andrew Nimhard had a good game. But yeah, I'd probably go Pascal as well.
I'm going to pause for a moment before we move on to our next awards. I wanted to ask what you thought of the Nemhard TJ choices that were made in this game. Nemhard comes out and he's on fire, and he's relentlessly attacking the paint, which is he's for the season overall. If you've watched it, you know the numbers back it up. He's not getting all the way to the rim as frequently as he has in past seasons. That's not so surprising. Now he's getting guarded by Amen Thompson and Asar Thompson, Stefan Castle, these really, really sort of like A-tier perimeter defenders. It's just harder than what he was facing previously. So, okay, he's getting all the way to the rim. He's guarding De'Aaron Fox on the other end. Obviously, this is a huge offensive and defensive load to carry. Then we get a lot of TJ ball, a lot of TJ ball. And we get some Cam Jones minutes with Nemhard, and he really isn't sort of consistently leading the offense until the fourth quarter, and he scores a little bit again in the fourth quarter. I thought that pivot went too far away from him. I know that it's a lot to ask of him, but also the guy started on fire. He had 14 points straight away. I mean, I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, he might burn himself out, but I would rather him have, let's say, 24 in the half. And then, yeah, we go more TJ heavy in the second half than this sort of like, we're sort of like artificially reining him in. At least I think so. I thought it was an overcorrection. What do you think?
I didn't think that in the moment, but I can see what you're saying. I wonder if maybe the thought process was like he's obviously overtaxed with his role, with what he has to do on both ends. So then if he's giving it like the full, like I'm going to be ultra aggressive when I'm the only point guard on the floor. And then when I'm sharing the floor with TJ, I can kind of take a back seat more on offense and then put more of my energy in on the defensive end and kind of go back and forth that way. But I think you're right. If that was the goal, they didn't go back to Andrew being Andrew on offense enough with how he was playing tonight. So I think, yeah, probably an overcorrection, I think is a good way to put that. I think the idea there of like relieving Nimhard some is a good one in theory. But if he's having a night like this, like you want to give him the best chance to have a great night instead of just a good one, which he had. tonight.
And you saw the Spurs mix this up. I mean, Stephon Castle is one of the players in the league who is sort of like you can see similarities in the offensive and defensive load that he takes on at times with Nemhard. And he rotated assignments throughout the night, right? They're not sort of putting him on the top guy every time either. I don't know. I guess I was kind of like, if Nemhard's on a heater, shoot, go for it. see how long we can take it. All right, let's move on. What's your next nominee for our TJ award, or for whatever award you're going to nominate us for?
Okay. I feel like I know which one you want to go with.
Oh, you know which one I want to go with. This game is.
So
is
I'll try to do a different one so I don't upset your plans here. I'll
Derek, there are
go.
so many nominees for the
We could just
TJ
do
League
a
most
double.
forgettable performance of the night that you
We could do
can't
a
steal
double
anything
TJ.
from me.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Tony Bradley Jr. Award.
Mr.
Partially
Stability,
because
unheralded stability.
unheralded stability, and his future might be about at its end, unfortunately for Tony Bradley. So that's part of why I want to bring this up, just because his contract's unguaranteed. The guarantee date is coming. They have three other centers now. They just started Micah Potter, who's his competition. Like, they're probably only going to keep one of these guys, especially if Isaiah Jackson is getting close to being back. He lasted way longer on this roster than I think anybody thought he would when he signed a 10-day last year. He ended up contributing in the playoffs. So maybe I'm just giving the Tony Bradley Award to Tony Bradley. I think I've talked myself into that. He didn't even play tonight.
Yeah, for what games are you? Is this like in memoriam? We think he's just that gone.
I just think it. I think he might be. I think he might be. I'll give a real nominee though. Micah Potter. I'll give him another shout out. Made 4 threes tonight. I mean, he did the thing that Jay Huff, in theory, you want to see him do, but he just hasn't been able to hit those open shots. Micah Potter went 4 for 8 from deep. You can really tell how much he's trying to get everybody hyped up. Like, it's almost a little overkill. Like, he did one where I think he cut the lead to 9, I want to say, with a little under 2 minutes, and like, he's at half court, he's throwing his arms up, he's super excited, but every other Pacer is just like walking by him to the bench, like they're not they're not feeling it. But he's trying, he's giving it his all, he's trying to throw some energy into the crowd, get things going. And he had his moments, like you said, it's not perfect on defense. Like, he's just not long enough to like be an answer long term at center, but good things in both the last 2 games that I'll give him this award.
Watching him, even in the beginning of the game, I remember this. Everybody's standing at the circle getting ready to jump, and Micah Potter is going around and like trying to hype people up at center circle before tip off. And I thought to myself, okay, I think about who the sort of emotional force kind of people are on the team. Pascal is emotional and experienced. Nemhard and Neesmith both can sort of, and Mathurin can all sort of have an angry fire. Tyrese is this real, and so does TJ. TJ's fire is more angry fire than sort of like, than anyone is like Tyrese, who is the most, his fire is the most different. He has that sort of like villain energy that, no, I mean, TJ can almost play the villain, but it's hard. I mean, Tyrese is more the villain, but Tyrese is also more the villain, and he's also more joyful. And
TJ
no
is
one
like
else
the TJ is like the B tier villain that no one takes seriously as an actual villain, but they're annoyed by him completely. That kind of thing, yeah.
Right. I think the team is missing. I mean, I feel like I'm like the Zodiac GM looking for like the astrological signs that are missing on the team's, sort of like chemistry chart, but they're missing. There is an ingredient that Tyrese gives them. I'm not even talking about the play. Obviously, they're better when he plays. I'm talking about there's something that they're missing with positivity, joy, and energy Because when I watch Micah Potter, and he's like really trying to get the fans in it too. He's not just in teammates' faces, he's like trying to get fans hyped up. And I kind of want to grab some of the players by the shoulders and say, like, you said you were going to be a leader this year. I'm looking at you, Andrew Nemhard. You said you were going to be a leader this year. Like, show it. Show it. You don't have to do everything that Micah Potter is doing right now. But what Micah Potter is doing right now is trying to find a way out. And he is trying to find a way out of this for selfish reasons because his career depends on it. And you collectively, the team, ought to be trying to find a way out of this for chemistry and future reasons too. I don't know. Micah Potter is the absolutely right choice for this award. And I think that maybe the team thinks he's like corny for caring too much. And that would suck because evidently they don't, and in the words of their own teammates, a lot of them don't seem to care enough to turn the ship around either. So you've got two choices, guys. You either join the corny team with Micah Potter and try and get fans into it even on an 11 or a 10 game losing streak, or you sort of like, keep the ship sailing into the iceberg. We're like, the iceberg has torn the ship apart at this point, and you just sort of are like, no, I guess we have to keep going this direction. No, yeah. I liked what I saw from Micah Potter. I would double down on this award if I could. I think it's hard for me to even really feel great about like anyone else's performance. TJ has his moments. I'll give it to Ben Shepherd though, because Ben Shepherd, I think Chris Teneri said on the broadcast, he's something now like 14 of his last 22 from three, somewhere in there. In other words, he starts 0 for 17. We're finally getting course correction. And Ben Shepherd really like, I want to take a screenshot of him in like he is sitting in the chair. Like he is in a serious defensive squat trying to guard De'Aaron Fox. And listen, De'Aaron Fox is putting him on skates and he's putting everybody on skates. I love watching De'Aaron Fox. I've loved watching him for years. I just love the way he plays. He's really hard to guard, but Ben Shepherd is running to the corner and hitting the corner three. And he's getting chased off the line and taking the pull-up too. And in the last game against Orlando, he's getting chased off the line and not even looking at the basket, and then looking at the basket at the last minute and throwing up a sort of floater-ish shot that goes in. That is the vision for his role on the team. That is the like how he stays in the NBA. He hits the shots. He makes the plays. He gets in the defensive stance. He was solid. And that's what you ask of him. And especially coming off injury, you never know how people are going to fit back in. 2 thumbs up on unheralded success.
He just runs hard. Like that's the constant thing with Ben Shepherd. And like Quinn Buckner brought that up in the last game, like multiple times, like how much they miss just this guy that runs hard, cuts hard. He's always going to be where you need him to be. And he's always going to be there as fast as possible. And
let's talk about running hard and cutting hard. Being in the right place and doing things as fast as possible. As I move us toward the TJ Leaf Most Forgettable Performance Award. And this is tough. This is a very tough decision for me. I've been thinking it over for really hours since the game ended. I thought about it during the game. I texted it to you during the game. Jay Huff, Ben Mathurin, neck and neck. Jarris Walker has, I think, mirage stats in the first half. I personally was quite unimpressed with his play. I know the shots went in, but I think Rick substantially overcorrected in benching him in the second half, but I didn't think he played well in the first half. The standard has indeed not been the standard. And in what is probably one of the 5 worst games of his career, I am going to give Most Forgettable Performance Award to Ben Mathurin. And look, the good news is that this kind of performance is super rare. This is one of only 4 times in his career he's played at least 15 minutes and scored 2 points or less. Okay? It's only happened 4 times. I'm obviously, if you're out there to score points and you don't score and the team is in a semi-competitive game, like you can't get outscored by Ben Shepherd on a regular basis. Ben Mathurin, I'm sorry. I think what is most disappointing to me is the way that he, in now multiple games, and this is an award I'm going to give him not just really for this game, but for the Orlando game too, to be honest. I mean, I think of Ben Mathurin still as LeBron has to prove he's better than me, Ben Mathurin. I think of him as a guy who, going into the playoff run last year, I didn't know how many whether it would be a single game or plural games, but I thought to myself, he's going to win us a game. He's going to have one of those Ben Mathurin games when he just lights it up for, 25 points in 3 quarters. And it's this boost off the bench that just pushes the Pacers over the line. And we got it in the finals. I like to think of him as this guy. Supreme confidence and this sort of unrelenting attack. And what has been so disappointing and forgettable about the last 2 games is that is not there. He is not in unrelenting attack mode. And when he is getting to the rim and it's in the Orlando game on offense, he is just he's giving up more than he's getting at the other end. His defensive performance against Orlando is one of the worst defensive performances he's put up this season. It's poor even in the scope of his career. He's an improved defender, and that was terrible. And he is just taking himself out of the game. When he returned from injury, Caitlin Cooper wrote an awesome piece about how his cuts were freeing up other shooters to get more open shots. Pascal Siakam's getting doubled, and we're getting nothing. And that's what's so, so frustrating to me. You were at the press conference, so I should let you quote this. I know Rick talked about Ben in the press conference and said something about the opportunities he's getting. You should sort of clarify his comments specifically, but I just am really disappointed with the last 2 games from him. I want it to turn around immediately. I mean, this is like I'm giving him a multi-game award because the truth is Jay Huff also would be a deserving candidate in my mind.
Yeah, Carlisle's quote I thought was a great one. He said that Ben Mathurin has like a tremendous opportunity this season. Like he's second in the team in minutes, and like they're looking for him to be like the team's second leading scorer. But the way he played tonight, and this is me, not Rick now, like the way he played tonight, like it didn't seem like he was interested in scoring. Like when he got the ball, it was just like he would dribble a little maybe and then look to get off of it. Like there was one play like he came out of the game 2 minutes into the third quarter and Cam Jones came in and we didn't see Ben Mathurin for another 13 minutes. And like even when he came back in, like it just felt like he was kind of it was like he was in a walkthrough for a practice before a game, just kind of slowly going through everything. There was no like urgency anytime he got the ball. The one shot he made was just a shot that he had to take at the end of the first or the second quarter, right before halftime. Yeah, he would have been my nominee for this award too. It was just really disappointing, especially after like Rick's petty nonsense quote after the game. Like you want to see guys like come out with a fire in the next one, and it felt like it was missing from Ben. Like I have no idea if that was directed in Ben's direction in any way, if he's part of that at all, but it's not the kind of thing you want to see after that for him to show this poor of a performance. And Rick did say like he's learning what it's like to get this level of defensive attention, like trying to deflect a little bit from the game. It didn't feel like there was defensive attention that was the reason why he struggled tonight. It didn't seem like he was attacking, but like he wasn't. There was a couple plays where he did cut, but it was such a slow paced cut towards the rim that like I don't know what he was looking to accomplish from that level of cut.
Yeah, I can't. I really can't. I don't have sympathy for the increased defensive attention point because Andrew Nembhard is also dealing with that. Like he is not the only. My point is only that he is not the only player. That is not a singular and unique thing that he is confronting. And his own teammates are like guarding Jalen Brunson and then getting guarded by OG Anunoby. That is just much harder than the step up that's being asked of him. And I again, like I have this fundamental criticism
of him right now, which is, are you who you say you are? If you are this guy who is this absolute, I'm using this very loosely, Kobe-esque competitor. In other words, like win at all costs, absolute drive. If that is who you see yourself as or who you want to be, these games can't happen after comments like Rick made yesterday. Again, whether they are directed at you or not, nor can they happen for his teammates either, right? This is the point. The coach makes a comment like that, no one should be coming out as flat as he just came out in this game. And, Pascal Siakam, to be honest, came out pretty flat and he turned it around.
No, honestly, it felt like, and I don't think it was to this degree, but it felt like Ja Morant's response to his coach. It felt like the guy who's kind of just very passive. I'm just going to let everybody else do the thing, and we'll see how they do without me. And it didn't feel that bad, but it was that kind of performance that it felt.
It was extremely disappointing.
Like he was just very passive. Didn't I don't know. Like you said, if he's wants that Kobe mentality, that's a game that you saw from Kobe, like when he knew his teammates were terrible and he was like, let's see what all these other guys can do if I don't do anything. Like that's what it looked like.
Do you want to nominate someone for this award, or
I guess I have to.
I feel like we need to end the Ben Mathurin criticism and move to someone else. Unfortunately, there are more nominees.
There are more nominees here. I think the best one is your other nominee that you were probably most considering. Yeah, I don't have anybody else that I thought was awful. Jay Huff's just been rough lately. He had a couple nice plays at the rim. Like you were joking in text, or you weren't joking, but you were like, Jay Huff's moving up the leaderboard for the TJ Leaf. And then I joked after he made a block, like, oh, he heard you. But then nothing else was really positive from Jay Huff. I've been praising him a lot because I feel like early in the season, especially defensively, he's made a big difference for this team. I don't know. I like the things where he's laughing on the bench when the team's losing by a bunch, and he's helping opponents up off the floor, and Pascal's looking at him like he's crazy. Like he's never been on a team that's been really good and been part of the reason that they're winning in the NBA. I don't know. He's been disappointing lately. If he can't hit those open shots, like you tweeted the thing where he's 26th out of 28th among guys who have taken so many threes and their percentages at those wide open threes. If he's not hitting those shots, it's just really hard to rely on him much.
I'll give the two 3-point shooting stats. There are two. Let's do the basic one. Basic 3-point percentage. Last 10 games, 21%. Garbage. Okay, horrible. We have been at times earlier this season quite critical of Ben Shepherd when he couldn't make a shot. I mean, Jay Huff in the last 10 games is in that tier of can't make a shot. And the other stat is when you leave him wide open, so unguarded, more than 6 feet of space is how the NBA says, unguarded. He's shot it at 32% for the season and 25% in the last 10. It's horrible. And I don't want to steal your thunder from more forgettable performances. I thought this against Miami. I've thought this at other points this season. Jay Huff can be a very useful deterrent at the rim. They've tried him in zone, sort of in in a 3-2. They've tried him in sort of a one-man zone where he just floats around and sort of switches on to whoever's in the paint. And in that specific instance, he is a rim deterrent, and he forces people to shoot it higher, and it makes shots tougher. Okay, good. In space, put in a pick and roll, I personally believe that in space in a pick and roll, he's the worst defender on the team. I think he is just, barbecue chicken is just not even what we're talking about here. Other teams are bringing him into the action, and it's a feast. Okay, it's like a free runway to the rim for a dunk. I think his defense in space has been abysmal. I really don't have like enough bad things to say about it. I don't. I've begun to worry that the Pacers do not have like a second string quality center on the team. I mean, maybe Isaiah's going to come back and prove me wrong. I hope that happens. But I was probably a little bit too high on J Huff in like November, and I'm probably a little bit too low on J Huff right now. But I mean, his defense in recent games has been pathetic.
Yeah, anytime,
See nothing of
especially
the
like
shot making, right? He's just
right.
giving, he's just taking and taking and
right.
taking. There's no
Now
giving
the
back.
defense, like I haven't looked at the on-off numbers for a while, so I know they've had to have gotten worse over these last couple weeks. Like for a while, like J Huff was in like the 100th percentile in terms of like how much better the Pacers defense was with him on the floor than with him off. But that's surely gone down at this point.
He's still in the see. This is an interesting thing. I not to get into too much of a nerd alert session here. Andrew Nemhard and Jay Huff are sort of like tale of the advanced stats mysteries here, because Jay Huff is still in the 96th percentile of on-offs for defense. He happens to be in the 3rd percentile of on-offs for offense, aka one of the worst players in the league. And Drew is flipped, where he's like 60th percentile for offense and like 6th for defense. And to be honest, I think the stats here are just missing what's going on. I do not think that J Huff is that level of impact defender, nor do I think that Andrew Nemhard is that level of impact defender the other way.
And I think that's very fair. Yeah, so that's a great point. I should just ignore that stat for a while and let it kind of even out.
Well, we can watch the games too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I can see with my own eyes.
Yes, I will say like when they started using J Huff as the like zone thing and like keeping him as close to the rim as possible, I do think it made a huge difference with their defense, but that's fallen off so far that the numbers don't match up with what we're watching anymore in the slightest. And obviously that doesn't match up with Drew's performance defensively at all, ever. So
yeah. I do think Drew's been like a little worse, but not way worse.
Not that.
Anyway, I wanted to before we move to our New Year's resolutions for the team, I wanted to ask you about Jarris Walker DNP CD in the second half.
It's like Rick gave us nothing. Like Tony East joked before, like I'm going to ask about Jarris, and spoiler alert, Rick's all he's going to say is coach's decision, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, he gave us nothing. Yeah, you said like you weren't that impressed with it, even though he did. Like it was good to see him hit shots. Like that's not nothing. Like him going for 4 for 6.
Do you think he called bank?
I think he called bank on that shot. Like I'll just go ahead and give one of my New Year's resolutions is just eliminate the mid-range 2 from your arsenal, Jarris Walker. Like I just don't need to see you take one unless there's like 5 seconds or less left on the shot clock. I just don't need to see it. Like obviously he's got to keep trying to score at the rim and figure that out. I can't say just only shoot open threes. That's just not going to work. Eventually he's got to figure out the rim stuff. But like his little fadeaway that he took at the elbow that he's taken a lot this year, like he feels like he's shooting, and I haven't looked at his shot chart, but it feels like he's shooting like 20% on those shots. And most of the time he's taking that like fader on a defender that's smaller than him. Like there's not even any reason to fade away on that shot. Like I don't need to see it anymore. But other than like that mid-range 2, I thought offensively he was fine. But yeah, it was surprising that he didn't play at all. I think I agree with you that it was a little bit of an overcorrection to not see him at all until there were 37 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And he almost didn't put him in then because at first Johnny Furphy was at the scorer's table. But yeah, I don't know. Jarris has been very disappointing this year, but I do think he's played better since the Houston game. And we're at least seeing some shots go in for him, and hopefully he starts to get something going right.
Yeah, I pulled up his shooting stats. It's a little bit weirder than it seems at first, but in some ways good and in some ways bad. Basketball Reference breaks it down. So we're ignoring the rim where, he's probably one of the worst players for his position in the league. But ignoring that at the rim, 3 to 10 feet, 31%, which is terrible. 10 to 16 feet, 44%. It's actually
Not that
pretty
bad. Yeah.
that's acceptable. 27 shots, so not a ton. 16 to 3-point range. So these are the long twos. 3 for 10. He hasn't taken a ton of them, but 30% obviously is horrible. It's tough to the real challenge with this criticism of like, well, he needs to do better getting all the way to the rim is that he really is one of the worst finishers at the rim for his size and position in the league. And so I don't even feel good saying that, but I agree that what's so perplexing about his mid-range game is how slow it is. For a guy who sees how fast other people move on the court really quickly and intuitively, when he catches the ball in a I should probably shoot situation, he has a very long and slow shot. And when he gets closed out and decides to take a couple dribbles into below the 3-point line, it's still all so slow. It's very bizarre.
And there were the videos in the offseason of Pascal like talking to him about like what to do off the catch. Like, don't waste that first dribble. And a lot of times, like his first dribble is just like a crossover that goes nowhere and it just lets the defense catch up. And like he doesn't do that like stampede catch where he's immediately catching the ball and going. And it's the same kind of thing that like Ben Mathurin has an issue with both of the lottery picks that the Pacers have. Like they just don't make the quick decisions that make this offense what it is. And that's kind of been their struggle with fitting in with the rest of the group.
Yes, but Ben Mathurin can get to the rim and draw fouls. He at least, and this is I shouldn't say at least, what I'm about to talk about, Ben Mathurin's ability to draw fouls is a like very, very big deal. I think Tony East is the one who I've heard talk about this. Players who draw fouls at the rate that he draws fouls tend to be really either high quality starters or even sort of like low level all-stars or, like that. The people who draw fouls like he does tend to be really good. And that's a huge deal. His mistake is more like tunnel vision mistake where he gets the ball, holds it for too long, sizes up and sort of dribbles into three people and maybe he turns it over. It holds back his finishing at the rim, especially last year. He didn't get a lot of foul calls that I think he deserved, to be honest. And it results in missed shots and turnovers. But his instinct to drive is a better and more like that's the kind of instinct I want to correct to the extent it needs correcting, right? Pass out, dump off, kick to corner. Whereas Jarris's instincts are like avoid, fade away, spin around. And I want him to hit somebody.
We need to I feel like this with a lot of Pacers over the years, but if we just could like merge them together, like you give Ben,
those are not the players that I would merge.
Just a few of the things. Like if you give Ben like Jarris's general like vision and passing ability, and then like Jarris
That's all I want to do. Stop.
Yeah. Even if you just if you could give Ben Jarris's hands on defense, that would be helpful for Ben at least. He doesn't have any of the other things.
Ben is a better defender than Jarris.
Yes, but I think Jarris has better hands than Ben does on defense. Ooh. He doesn't have any of the other things that Ben is missing on defense.
See, I would just merge the Bens. I would merge Ben Shepherd and Ben.
Yes, if you could merge those would be great too. Especially the running of like the run hard all the time into Ben Mathurin. Like I remember seeing one of the Ben's really running on this play. Like it seems like he only runs super hard when he thinks he might get the ball at the rim with a chance to score. Like it was like a transition play where like he thought he could beat his man to the rim and he really ran hard, but he didn't get the ball and then he went to the corner after that. But like you just don't see. Yeah, you just compare those two guys in terms of like how they run and get to the space where they're supposed to be in the offense, and it's just like so much slower for Mathurin, especially today when it just felt like it was just, we talked about this already with
Yeah,
Ben
but
today.
I'll finish with a shout out to Shep actually on this point. There was a small play. It's semi-transition, I think, off a miss, and the ball swings, and then swings to the corner, and it's off camera. So you wouldn't have known this. I mean, I maybe probably just wasn't paying close enough attention on TV, but I didn't even know somebody was standing in the corner, and it was Ben Shepherd because he had sprinted there faster than the camera could quite keep up with it, and/or I wasn't quite paying attention close enough. But that is like the kind of mindset that he has that's, I wish would be infectious.
It's it's like the exact kind of thing that TJ does with his inbound steals. Like he beats the camera in terms of he's making a play when even the camera doesn't think anybody's going to make a play.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. All right, we're gonna do this. We're done talking bad about the last 2 lottery selections, and we can give some New Year's resolutions.
Let's do New Year's resolutions. It's the second day of 2026. Hope springs eternal. The calendar turns over. I have some cliches to bestow on the team. I've been very thoughtful about my cliches, and I'm ready to pass them off one by one. I don't have New Year's resolutions for every player on the team. With apologies to Micah Potter and Cam Jones and some of the more fringe guys, I have resolutions for others. We can share some of the same or pass it back and forth, however you'd like to do it.
This was my idea to do this, and then I did a terrible job of like thinking and coming up with them. So I'll let you kind of take the lead here, and then like I have a couple, but I know you have way more than I do, and I already gave one of mine with Jarris, which also would have been like play with more force was part of that too, which was my other thing of like if Jarris had a little bit of that part of Ben, but he didn't have it tonight anyway.
Well, as inspiration, I decided to review what most people call their New Year's resolutions. Things like exercising more, being happier, healthier, making more money. And this was important for me to see. Pursuing a career goal. Could that have anything to do with some Pacers we know? What about improving home or life organization? People on the team, I think, could benefit from such things. And I looked at this and thought to myself, well, who
quitting a bad
really
habit?
There's
lots of things there.
There's so much here. Learn a new skill. Wow. Ben Shepherd learning a new skill. That could be incredible. Look at the mid-range jump shot he took today. Ben Shepherd, my New Year's resolution for you is to learn a new skill. I had similar thoughts for Johnny Furphy. In this case, I'd like him to spend a little bit more time on himself and fix his hair while he's at it. Because while he needs to make some 3-point shots if he's ever going to stay on the court, and that's going to require him looking at the rim, I'd also like him to look in the mirror, see a barber, consult some hairstylists, and I'd like him to look a little more mature. I think that this would give him more presence on the floor. And that's important as the Pacers struggle in many aspects on the court. Maybe Johnny Furphy can improve in one off the court.
So I'm going to push back on the Johnny Furphy. I think we should just keep that graphic on the screen because I think that'll be great inspiration for more of these things. So I'm going to push back on.
You're not going to defend his hair. Surely not.
I mean, if you think it's like a negative for his presence, I think the like fact that he looks like a teenager kind of works in his favor. Like Pascal talked about this before, like guys try him because everybody thinks that he's on the floor, not because of his defense, but that is his strength. Like people try to score on Johnny Furphy. It's one of my favorite things about the season in general. And then they quickly realize, oh, this isn't nearly as easy as I thought it was going to be. So I think that like him being underestimated because of maybe his lack of physical presence that you're looking to upgrade, I think that works in his favor. People underestimate him, and then he can, murder Noah Esengwe at the rim in Summer League.
Well, I have one more. I have more inspiration from this chart, Derek. I looked right at the top where it said saving more money. Saving more money. No, Herb Simon, spend more money. New Year's resolution, go into the tax.
Facts.
When Tyrese Halliburton is playing basketball again, look, you pay the tax at the end of the year, but you better be ready to open the checkbook this year, Herb Simon. This is the year of money, and you better be ready to spend it.
So here's the problem. We just talked about the guy, Ben Mathurin. Like, that's how the Pacers would be able to go into the tax right now. It would have to either be give Ben Mathurin a lot of money or sign and trade Ben Mathurin for somebody who makes a lot of money. Probably you're looking for somebody at the center position, if that's a thing that works out with the contracts and yada yada yada. I love that New Year's resolution. Go into the tax, Herb Simon, spend more money.
But this is the
save
thing.
more money.
I want to make this point. You don't even have to sign and trade Ben Mathurin. You can retain Ben Mathurin and trade him later. Listen,
Yes.
I think the season has unfolded in a way that has more justified Miles Turner's doubters than his supporters. Nevertheless, the sort of on-court play aside, if Miles Turner was on the roster, they could trade him, and his salary gets you way closer to, I don't care who you want to trade for, Isaiah Hardenstein, Bam Adebayo, like any tier of center you're talking about, Miles Turner's salary gets you way closer to that point than the
Zubac.
alternative. And the alternative is like, we trade multiple, like 2 rotation players, because everybody else is watching Jarris Walker too, and they're not just gonna like that doesn't count, unfortunately.
Yeah, and everybody else
so
just saw
part of signing Ben Mathurin is not even about the sign and trade. It's about
getting the
optionality.
contract slot.
Someone has said that word before.
Yeah, and I've brought this up before in conversations. I don't know if I've said it on this podcast, but like, that's the thing. Even if you thought Miles Turner like isn't the center that they need long term, whatever, like, it's still better to have that contract slot on the roster to be able to use it in a potential trade in the future than it is to just lose him for nothing. So, and yeah, maybe nobody else in the league like is particularly in love with Miles Turner either, but you still need to make that money match. So like, maybe the sell to that other team isn't Miles, but you include a bunch of picks in a trade for an upgrade, and then Miles takes up 27 million, 20 whatever million whatever it would have taken to get to the 40 million that big center upgrade that you want is making. Or if it's Zubac who's making a little less, then like something else is coming with you with Miles Turner, and you're giving up whatever picks for that situation. Instead, like you said, the Pacers are going to have to give up more pieces of the rotation that got them to the finals to replace what they're missing now at the center position. And I agree with you completely. Like, I've said this in the past too. Like, I think they need to pay Ben Mathurin something, no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
as long as he's looking like an NBA player, like if he plays like tonight, then yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, nobody's going to want him. The Pacers aren't going to want him. But yes, exactly. I don't know how to say your username.
Mancunian is what I'm gonna go with. 87. This is just like, you're on the money. They made the right. They had like brilliant thinking with Bruce Brown, and then it's like they forgot they ever did that with Miles Turner. Anyway.
Yeah, and like,
do you want me to run through some of my cliches, or do you want to hit a few of your resolutions first?
You can go ahead and do yours, and I'll react to those.
All right, this year I'm really going to work on myself. Tyrese Halliburton. You know what you're going to work on? I've seen pictures of your right calf. It looks atrophied. You're going to do some calf raises. I've heard you talk about the mental attrition and sort of toll it's taken on you to be going through this ordeal. I want you to reflect and meditate. I want you to develop a spiritual, mental, and intellectual strength that will support you as you engage this recovery now, and then as you return to the court later. It's going to take a lot of working on yourself, Tyrese, but this is the year for you to do it. New Year's resolution for Tyrese Halliburton. This is the year I'm going to work on myself. Jarris Walker, new year, new me. That's my cliche for him. I want him to develop literal amnesia. I'd like him to wake up tomorrow and forget about today, forget about the Orlando game, and really forget about most of the season. I'm not wishing specific amnesia on him, but I am wishing that the mindset of new year, new me is overpowering and sort of obscures his vision of the past and allows him to forge, sort of a different way forward, a new style of play, a new person on the court. That's what I want from him.
Honestly, can we just at the end of the year, can we just Men in Black like everybody on the roster for this season? Like everybody that was here last year, just just erase all that.
That's a great idea. That's a really good idea. Yeah, that's a really good call.
That doesn't count as a New Year's resolution, but
Pacers research and development turns into Men in Black.
Perfect. Find some aliens to combat Wemby. Great.
I'm going to go with don't take no for an answer, Andrew Nemhard. I want you to get into the paint even when it's hard. I want you to shoot when you're open no matter what. And you know what I really, and this isn't, I couldn't quite find the right cliche for this, but this is one of my, I'm going to say criticisms, soft, small criticism, but a real criticism I have of him. I hope that we are seeing something, but that something is happening behind the scenes that we are not seeing regarding leadership and sort of taking greater control over the team in sort of traditional leaderly ways. Because on the court, I think it's pretty hard to tell. I think on the court, it's very clear that Pascal Siakam is by far the most important leader on the team. And that was always going to be the case. But I remember Andrew talking a bit in preseason about wanting to, what it meant to have a more leadership type role, being more vocal, growing into it. It's clear that there are elements of traditional leadership and sort of the outspokenness and extroversion. Like you just got to be sort of a big personality to be sort of a traditional leader. That's not the only kind of leadership that works, but it works for a reason. And I hope that there's something happening behind the scenes we're not seeing on the court. Because on the court, I can't say I've felt a great deal more leadership from him than in the past. Already in the past, he's communicating on defense. So when I see him doing that and pointing and sort of working hard on that end of the floor, I don't feel like I'm seeing such growth there. Anyway, don't take no for an answer, Andrew. Don't take no for an answer.
And I think you can say similar things about Pascal. Yes, absolutely. He's clearly the most important leader on the team, but he's also admittedly never been the super ultra vocal guy. That's been something that he's had to work on since he's been here. We've seen the videos of him before the season, motivating the team and things like that, but that's generally not his standard go-to mode of leadership. So yeah, they're missing that type of thing on the floor that they would typically get from a guy like Tyrese.
My only criticism of Pascal in this regard, and again, these are criticism, I'm nobody with a microphone and I'm not in the huddle. Probably I wish he complained about 20% less to the officials. But I have been otherwise extremely impressed with his presence and leadership and sort of attitude on the court. Awesome. My New Year's resolution for him really came from this chart again. I looked at things like praying more, improving my mental health, and really it was just right there at the top, being happy. Pascal Siakam, I just want him to be happy. And more than anything, probably happiness in April, if I had to forecast, is going to be found off the court.
Just
he might need a personal sabbatical even to rediscover happiness.
He might need one, especially at the end of the year with how this year is going. This is just not a season that Pascal's going to find happiness in. So yeah,
he needs to. Okay. My real opinions here. He's got to be able to come into.
That's on the list too.
Two things have to happen. He cannot get a serious injury.
That's my biggest fear is he's working so hard that something happens.
Yeah, catastrophe. It's paramount that he avoid injury. The team should take whatever fines. If they're as bad in March as they are now, I don't care what injury they have to invent. He can't get hurt. You have to sit him. Number one, that can't happen. Number two, he can't enter next season as a leader on the team with like the residual poison of this year still in his blood. Maybe he gets it out in Cancun. Where does he lives in Florida in the offseason, right?
Yep,
Like
Orlando.
maybe like sunny Florida or whatever, just like frees him from his sort of like all the bad stuff that's going on. But when training camp comes, whatever, in 8 months, he needs to, and Tyrese, they need to be able to have learned something from this year, and they need to fully have it, not just at arm's length, it needs to be like in a locked safe far away.
I like Dom's life's point. Like maybe instead of making an all-star team, which he might not have the opportunity because of how bad the team is anyway, like use that time, take a vacation. One of the things on this list is pursue a new hobby. Maybe you can find some happiness with a new hobby off the floor. I don't know what that would be for Pascal. Listen to more Ed Sheeran. He apparently loves Ed Sheeran.
What?
I saw that in a video recently. It was just like singing along with like 10 different Ed Sheeran songs, and of all things, yeah.
That reminds me of like the Andrew Nemhard walks out to Oasis.
Yes. So like he said he didn't choose that. Tony asked him about that last year, and he said he didn't choose it, but he like grew to love it.
Wonderwall of all songs.
Wonderwall.
Is he still doing it right now?
No, they have different songs now when they come out.
Okay. I've got more. Ben Mathurin manifesting big things this year. Ben Mathurin's New Year's resolution. Unfortunately, manifesting is really the word that I think best captures this, which is unfortunate. He's definitely pursuing a new career goal with 9% of people, but I really am not sure how he's quite going to get to where he wants to get unless it manifests itself spontaneously. But nevertheless, that's the resolution for Ben Mathurin, is to manifest. I've never liked that word. I've hated it. It's what needs to happen for him.
You got the cliche in there for him. I feel like he's got some bad habits that he could quit, which is 11% of people. What bad habits?
I really was trying to be positive in my assignment of these of like cliches and sort of like stayed tried and failed resolutions.
Okay, I'll be negative. So just quit getting beat backdoor. Like that happened in the fourth quarter of this game, and it wasn't even like one of the ones where he gets beat backdoor and he doesn't realize it for like a full second, and then he's like 2 body lengths behind, which happened multiple times in the Magic game. But he got beat in the fourth quarter, only like 3 minutes left to go, and then Rick just immediately pulls him. Cam Jones, you're in the game. So I'll give him that one. Quit getting beat backdoor.
You know who got beat backdoor in this game and didn't realize it? Jarris Walker. It was horrible.
Jarris Walker did, yes. Drew also got beat backdoor at one point in this game too. Then the lane was wide open because J Huff was in space and not near the rim.
Classic. You know who I have? I'll finish out my my cup. I have only a few more for players. I think it's time for Aaron Nesmith to start ticking items off his NBA bucket list. Look, the driving to the rim and trying very hard to develop this part of his game, I'm going to be honest, it's going terribly. Okay, it went terribly today. It's gone terribly all season. Nevertheless, this is it, Aaron. This is your chance. You've got like 2.5 or 3 months to try all the crazy things you've always wanted to try on the floor, to try like a floater game, to try like, I don't know if someone's ever going to like run some inverted dribble handoffs with him. That could be fun. I would love to see Aaron Nesmith tick items off his NBA bucket list. And by that, I mean just try absolutely everything on the floor. I'm picking him for this. I've always had a soft spot for Aaron Nesmith. I kind of feel like he works so hard that one of these new like tricks is going to work for him. So I just believe it really sort of comes down to that. He was a bench guy on the Celtics who like just sort of scrapped and clawed his way into, every minute he got with the Pacers, and from bench to starting, and then being, like at various points in a finals run, there's at times even their second best player, and at one very specific moment, the best basketball player on earth. And I just sort of have faith in him in that way. For Jay Huff, I think I wrote stick to the basics, which is
One thing on Aaron before you get into J Huff.
I don't want to talk about Jay Huff anymore. Let's just talk about Aaron Nesmith. I like him better anyway.
Just like we've seen Aaron get better at something like every year since he's been with the Pacers, even from just like when he got traded in summer league and he decided he wanted to play in summer league, just from that summer league to when the season started, like just so much improvement just from that. And obviously a lot of that's just knowing what he's supposed to do in the system, all of those things. But yeah, like this is the first time we're seeing him with like a real he's trying to take a leap in like what his role could be because of the need that it is there, and it has not gone well. But he is trying things and learning things, and like maybe some of those things go better next year when he tries them. And instead of being the third or fourth option, he's back to being the fifth. And the defenders are easier, the space is more open, and those things will start to work again.
I mean, I was serious when I said it earlier. Shep like dribbling in and confidently taking a mid-range shot. I love that. I mean, I personally, on Twitter, I tweet a lot of numbers, and it may surprise people to hear me say this because of what you would assume about analytics people otherwise. Wide open mid-range jump shots, I think, are great shots. I have absolutely no issue with them at all. And usually, very good shooters are very good shooters from 25 feet away, 24 feet away, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, and 17, and so on. And if Ben Shepherd is really going to develop like a good 3-point game, he's going to get chased off the line. And, this is something, meaning what you do when you get chased off the line, is something that I'd love to see him work on. So I loved seeing that, and I'd love to see him get out of his comfort zone.
There we go.
New Year's resolution.
Cliche.
Ben Shepherd as well.
Another cliche.
I'm full of cliches. I'll give you one last one, and I know I have an ally in my final New Year's resolution, because I could talk about the front office drafting better. Obviously, they have to, but I want to talk right now to the Pacers art department. Enter your retro era and embrace it. We have seen the return. And I shouldn't say the return. We have seen the unveiling of what is right now one of the best courts in the NBA.
100%.
We have a choice, art department team. We can make this the home court. It doesn't have to be City Edition. Doesn't have to be special. It can be the everyday home game court, and you can choose to do that. You have that power. It's time. It's time to embrace the retro era. It's time. I want to see some pinstripes. No, Dom Life. No, I'm keeping this at arm's length. I've already said enough bad things about Jay Huff. I too think perhaps he should travel more off the basketball court. But nevertheless, we're talking about the art department, and the art department needs to enter its retro era. I want to see pinstripes in the next City Edition jersey, and I want to see some version of this royal blue and yellow, yes. Some version of this home of the City Edition court. You know what you can do, art department? I want it to be permanent. That's your challenge for this year.
And to get us out of hell, I think the upgrading to a nice, bright royal blue over that navy blue, like I love the look of the royal blue and the yellow. It's a great change of pace. Goes back to far days, Pacers past. Like, yeah, I would love to see that.
I mean, I love the hand on the P,
the hand on the logo.
I really like
combining the logo from the ABA days to now. Yeah, I'm fully in, and it would be a shame if that court ends up like the last City court and it's only around for a year or two.
They have at least learned to take a few more risks, it seems perhaps it might be coming from some of the players, to whom I say keep fighting the good fight.
Yes, Tyrese has been very open about the jerseys that he does not like. He hated those City Edition jerseys from before the Indy jerseys, the ones that were like based on the field house that were
The
like
black
black
and
and
blue.
navy on the top. And then that one, like I've heard that like the Pacers had to like pivot at the last second because of something, and they like had to go with that, and they were not happy about it. And they've come out with a vengeance, I think, since then, and have had truly awesome City Edition jerseys. Um, I would love to see both of those just become the permanent rotation. Just give me the black and white for the City Edition, the Indy, and then give me this current jersey with another colorway as the basic home and road. Just give me these last 3 City Edition jerseys and then another version of the current one, and I'm good. Just give me those jerseys. And then like a pinstripes retro.
Yeah, I would want the pinstripes to be the City Edition.
Okay. I love the black and the white and that gray court. I didn't think I would initially, but I love it.
I think we liked it because they won. I think if they went, I love the pinstripe. I mean, I don't know. I feel that I like pinstripes in general. Like, I think the old Magic jerseys are. This is a tough statement. This is the old Magic jerseys are an S tier jersey for me.
It's a great jersey. I love it. Yeah, there's not many that I would put in that range, but it's definitely up there for me too.
Vancouver Grizzlies.
I love the Nuggets jersey with the Rainbow Mountain.
The Spurs jerseys they were wearing today. That they're not an S tier jersey, but those are really good.
I like those. I like the warm ups that the Spurs had on today. Excellent.
Those warm ups are excellent. I mean, speaking of pinstripes, this is part of the reason why the IU candy cane is so good. Yep. I love the IU men's and women's basketball warm ups. Those are sick. They're awesome. The other S tier jersey for me, or one of the other ones, is the Wolves. The Wolves have an awesome, the old, like with the trees, black with the real wolf, not the 2D wolf, the 3D looking wolf with whiskers. Big fan of that.
Raptors with the raptor.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. I mean, the Raptors, the Raptors are awesome. First of all, they named it after a movie. It's ridiculous. These are pluses. The actual Raptor mascot is hilarious. It eats people. And they have like the Raptor dunking a basketball. The supersized version on the court is amazing.
Yes. When they did it with the Vince Carter Raptor, fantastic court. Love that court.
Anyway, all right, I've talked enough about mascots and court design.
I have one last thing on this, and I feel like, what was your opinion on the New Jersey Swamp Dragons? Do you wish that was a thing over the now Brooklyn Nets? Do you wish like?
No, I know I do know about this, that they could have been the New Jersey Swamp Dragons. I mean, as someone who is like, I think I have to like it because of whimsy and ridiculousness, which is what I want from. Sports are this like hilarious thing where everybody's super serious about it, but it's like a kid's game that people get paid millions of dollars to do, and like it should be fun. So I am pro Swamp Dragons. Really, though, my real opinion on so many team like name combinations is that I want the name to reflect something about the city. So I, for example, really like Houston Rockets, Pittsburgh Steelers, New Orleans Saints
with the astronaut on it. I
love that. Oh, awesome. New Orleans Saints is really cool. Milwaukee Brewers. There are a number of these that are Colorado Rockies. There are a number of these across all sports that I just think. And when you
Utah Jazz, I mean, perfect.
Derek. The subtitle to my name, eviL Kyle Taylor, is Scott Foster had some very good ideas, and we don't need to talk about that right now. You don't need to say terrible things, and I don't need to have terrible responses. We're not talking about the Utah Jazz. No, it's horrible. L.A. Lakers. This is a horrible, horrible name. There are no lakes out there. None. They have the ocean, and they have droughts. That's it.
Yes. The L.A. lack of Lakers.
Yeah, I feel very strongly. Anyway, the point is, New Jersey Swamp Dragons. It doesn't really capture anything about the state or the city or anything. Like the New Jersey Devils, the hockey team. Now there we go, because the New Jersey Devil is a real thing. I like that a lot. It's just Swamp Dragon is cool, but I really like. I mean, Pacers is solid. I have no like. Again, we're saying something about the city. So these are like Detroit Red Wings, another great name, but Detroit
Pistons.
Lions and Tigers, horrible. Chicago Bears, get out of here. Like these are, it's embarrassing to be honest.
So what do you want to name Chicago then? The Chicago Wind?
Well, at least like the Chicago Fire, the MLS team up there has something to do with the city's history. We have options. Yes, a real thing, Dice Wrench, a real thing. As the probably the only person in this group who lives in a metropolitan area that touches New Jersey, I feel like I have the credibility to speak of the New Jersey Devil.
Okay, you got to explain it because I don't
Jersey
know
Devil?
about it. Yeah.
I have friends who talk about this thing. I mean, the truth is, I don't really know. It's a South Jersey thing, and I mean, yes, it's like mythical and made up, but it's it's like. I mean, I want to try and think of. I mean, it's like
the chupacabra, that kind
like
of thing.
the Seattle Kraken would be the equivalent of the New Jersey.
I love
Devils.
that. I love that name.
And the Seattle Kraken is a great name.
Great name. Recently visited there. I wish I would have bought a shirt just because. Great name. It was a great shirt, but I passed on it, and now I don't have it.
Yeah. Like anyway, I could go on about this. I've thought a great deal about names, logos, like the full combination. There are some like the New York Yankees is that's with the logo with the bat in the hat. Awesome combination. Like the whole aesthetic is really good. Pittsburgh Steelers is amazing. I love the Steelers. I love that Pittsburgh as a whole does black and yellow for everything. Anyway.
So you just don't like the random animals?
It's just so no, the thing I like, Chicago Bears is better than Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz, I mean, they should be mandated to change the name.
Yeah.
So should the Lakers mandated to change the name.
Yeah. When the name was based on where they were and then they move. Yeah, you should have to.
Of course, New Orleans Jazz is a great name.
Yeah, perfect name.
But it stays there. Okay, Memphis, I mean, maybe Memphis has some black bears. They don't have Grizzlies. Get out of here. Embarrassing.
All right. On that note, we went very long tonight. I appreciate you staying with us. We're now on to January 3rd, 3 days into this new year. Look at us. Look at us go. We're just advancing on in 2026.
One day closer to the end of the season.
One day closer to the end of the season. 48 games to go. May we all Men in Black ourselves at the end of this one and get us some luck on lottery night somehow.
The witnesses, Dom, left, you're killing me.
Killing me. I don't know why I'm going to the TJ Warren screen here. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. We'll let you know when the next episode will be sometime next week. And later.